Hey y'all, we're back. We're back for us to talk about Love is Blind, and I do believe this is episode 7. Okay, I'm gonna do my best to get 8 and 9 out, but if not today, definitely make sure your notification bell is on. Okay, and we'll get into that on tomorrow. Now, also make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, and if you are subscribed to the channel, make sure that your notification bell is on. Okay, because YouTube be a little shaky with the notifications, so make sure that you are still subscribed, because I know I've been unsubscribed from like 3 people in the past few days. And I'm just like, what? Okay. And it's crazy because I actually watch these people's content and then I go to their page and I'm unsubscribed and I feel a way about it. So YouTube has been doing something really funky. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Also, like I said, make sure you're liking up the video. Okay. Make sure your notification bells are on. And also be sure to find me over on social media like Twitter. You also, and for those of you guys that's not on Twitter, you have Blue Sky. All right. Or you can do Instagram as well. And everything is always at Jamie. That's me. Okay. So you can stay up to date. Also, you can also follow me and join me over there on Patreon. All right. There are tiers that you pay for, but then there are also tiers where you could just follow me, join me as a free member, okay, so that you also could get those updates. So I definitely will go over if you have a Patreon and just join me over there, even if it is the free tier. Okay, so there's that, honey bun. Let us go ahead and get into this latest episode, okay, because Annie, what you got going on, baby? What you got going on, Annie? I'm starting to feel like Brendan may have pretty much saved himself. All right. I know he wanted things to work out a certain way and it did not work out that way for him. But I feel like, God, the universe, all of those things that you believe in may have been saving you just a little piece. But let's get into it. So we're going to start off with Madison and Joe because, Madison and Joe ended up getting into it the night before because obviously Joe was intoxicated. He had some things that was going on. He was acting a bit out of space is what I'm going to say. And it definitely left Madison hurt. Madison, when I sat outside, she was pretty much crying while Joe gets up and asks if she's okay, but then also goes and get in the bed. Is you cool? Like, if you have to ask her if she's okay, then sir, you need to go over there and go outside and check on her and make sure she's good. It's like he didn't want to really be bothered with her. I don't know. It also kind of gave to me like, Joe, did you not sober up after that nap, or did you take something else outside of just drinking and you are just so out of space with it? Because I'm starting to question, did you do this intentionally? Like, she may have embarrassed you when you were out there with the guys and stuff, and you could tell she was uncomfortable with how you were acting. So you decided to go and lay down. And then now that she's coming in there checking on you, you are trying to act all weird and stuff. And then you see her crying and you don't go over there to check on her. So were you trying to get her to sit in those feelings, right? Because she had you sitting in your feelings because you could have been embarrassed in front of your friends or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, were you trying to, like, did you do that on purpose? Because why didn't you just go over there and check on her? So he's asking her again what's wrong. She's outside. She said, I can't hear you because of the waves, and I think he told her to come inside or something like that. He couldn't hear her over the waves. That's what it was. I think he asked her if she was okay, and she responded, and he said, I can't hear you over the waves, come inside or whatever. Meanwhile, she wants him to come outside to check on her, which I think he should have did because he was already standing up. So if you see that she's emotional, you see that she's crying, just go over there and check on her. Just go over there and check on her, because honestly, I don't feel like Madison did anything wrong. I feel like you did something wrong, and I feel like you was doing too damn much. Okay, honestly. So she goes and she gets in the bed, and then when she gets in the bed, he decides to get up, talking about something. You ain't got no dinner, looking around for dinner. Huh? I said, Joe definitely would have got cussed out that night. I'm sorry. Matter of fact, depending on the emotions, I probably wouldn't have said to Joe, if Joe up there looking for food, I would have rolled over and went to sleep on his ass. It's okay. That's the energy that he would have been met with. Don't say nothing to me. Go fend for your damn self. Like, I don't care. So she tells him that she has been crying all night and she's embarrassed. And he's like, why are you embarrassed? And she says, because I've been crying all by myself. Okay. While you decide to go get your ass in the bed. Like, that's embarrassing. And this is being recorded. The people are seeing what's happening. Okay? I done just stepped out. I decided I'm finna meet somebody new that's potentially my husband. Okay? Everything is good. We vibing and stuff like that. And then you over here showing your ass in front of people. You kind of let your friend kind of disrespect me just a little bit. So I said, well, I don't like you. with his unattractive self. But anywho, not Joe, but Jordan. Anywho, so she over here looking like, what the hell? So you let your friends kind of like get real slick with me. You kind of be dismissive to me like you didn't even see me, right? You saw me walk off and you didn't come and check on me then. You just continue to stay there with your boy. Then now I come in the room, you acting real weird. You see I'm crying, I'm outside, and you ain't trying to check on me like, boy, get out my face. Okay, so she's feeling away. Then, so she's crying or whatnot. He starts laughing in her face in so many words. Like, he just pretty much started laughing in her face and says that he can't believe she's doing this right now. When I tell y'all, Joe could not say shit to me. It's the audacity of you saying that you can't believe she's doing this right now when honestly, she's emotional because of how you made her feel. But I'm sure she was thinking to herself, I can't believe you doing this right now. The way you over here getting drunk and how you damn acted. Like, what? Are you cool? So she has to sleep in the other room. Like, I'm just going to get the hell from around you, right? So he asked her what she needs from him. And she said, I told you 6 times. Okay, I told you 6 times, right? So basically, she needed him to console her. Basically, in my opinion, she wanted somebody to run up after her, right? She wanted him to show that he cared by running after her, checking on her. Babe, no, talk to me, babe. Babe, no, what's going on? Babe, no, talk. That's what she wanted. She wanted the whole push and pull, tug of war type of thing that would lead to some great sex afterwards or whatever. That's what it was giving. But anywho, Megan tells Jordan how the day was a lot, right? So we get with Megan and Jordan. She talks about the day being a lot. It was very weird because she was trying to have a serious moment with him, but then she also turned around and was laughing at the same time. I was like, what's going on? What's going on, Sparkle? Is this a Sparkle portion? Right? Because you're laughing. And maybe that's her nervousness where she's trying to be serious, but her nervousness kind of makes her laugh as well because she doesn't want to make him upset or something. So she says that she wants them to be a power couple, and she felt like everyone was connecting, and they weren't. I see everybody around here, they're blending. Everything is going well for everyone else. But when it comes to us, like, I don't feel like we're in that place. Like, what's going on? So she says that she understood him wanted to like joke around and have fun with the guys and stuff, but she needs him to be there for her. Okay. So if I want a little piece of your attention, I need you to recognize when I want your attention. Don't be so in tune with your guys that you hee and ha ha and laughing or whatever. And when I'm becoming uncomfortable, you're not noticing that about me. And I feel like, to me, Megan, as well as Madison, the M and the M's, okay, with the J and the J's, honey, these two ladies were kind of experiencing the same thing. They was feeling the same way about their guys, pretty much. The only difference was Jordan decided to stay out there, hang out, be around Megan, whatever the case was. Meanwhile, Joe decided to go inside. Now, let's get to Edmond and KB. So he apologizes about last night and making it a big deal about wanting to have sex before marriage. And we all know the only reason why he wants to do this is because everybody else is doing it. And also because he yearns to be one of the cool guys. I think because of his personality and, whatever he may have going on with him, I think that he's always often been the oddball out. When he first came on the show, and one of the things he said in his interview was, he asked his friends, do you have anybody that would like me, or any friends that could possibly like me, or something like that? Number one, it showed for me the confidence in himself. Like, he does not have very big confidence in himself. So for him to sit across from KB the other day and talk about some, they not even on my level, whoever the guys is, when she kind of posed that scenario to him about protecting her in so many words, he's like, well, whoever the guy is, they not on my level. She's like, who you compare yourself to? Right? He's like, any man, but you don't even have the confidence to really be in that same space with that man. So I really hate that for him. He does give often the oddball out. I think that's why he cares so much about what other people think, because if he is able to achieve an ounce of what they achieve, then for him, it's going to make him feel like, oh, okay, I'm a cool guy too. They can relate to me now too. Now I can really be a part of the conversations, He already awkward. I think he senses that, which is why he does certain things to get attention and not be dismissed or whatever the case is. Like laying on the floor, kissing on the damn floor, which is so weird. Didn't want to stand up there like he running a track meet or whatever. Like he definitely has a lot of deep rooted trauma that stems from his childhood. And he has to work on those things. And I think for him, I don't see he and KB walking down the aisle. Well, I see them walking down the aisle. I just don't see her saying yes. And I don't think that she should. I would be surprised if he even says no. But I think he needs to go and work through that trauma and things that he has before he can move on and be with that person, whoever he needs to be with. There's things he needs to work on that I don't think he got what he needed to get. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he cares a lot about what everybody else's thinks, right? Because that's how he measures himself up to those other people, because he's always been so inadequate and, an afterthought and not looked at as like a go-to person or whatever the case is. And I really do feel for him, even though he has these moments that's like cringing. I do kind of feel bad for him. I mean, they is kind of exploiting the guy for sure, and we're forced to watch it, and we would talk down on him and say stuff. I mean, I know in the beginning, I'm sure I said some slick stuff, but as I'm looking at this more, I'm just like, nah, this man, he definitely has something going on with him. It definitely stems from the trauma that he's dealt with in school, I mean, as a child. And for KB to kind of ask, I don't recall her asking this question yet, but she did ask him, how did he forgive his parents or his mom or whatever based on what he went through. I don't even know if she said parents. I know she asked about the mom, and it's like both of them did it to him. So it's more so, how did you forgive your both of your parents? But aside from that, she should have asked him, what work have you done to heal that part of the trauma within you? Because you may not recognize that as trauma for you, but to go in and out of a home and having to show up at strangers' house, and ain't no telling what could have happened to you in those strangers' homes. And it may be something dealing with SA, or it could have potentially been something with just pure mistreatment, or just not feeling comfortable because it's not a norm for you. Well, it's kind of a norm, but it's not who you would want to be with, like your parents. So I feel like that's a very important question that should have been asked, about what kind of work have you done or healing have you done to, heal that inner child and work through that trauma that you've been through and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like they could have much more deeper conversations. But anywho, he's apologizing to her about the whole situation, about, making it a big deal about wanting to have sex before marriage. And she says that she's glad that it happened because it's helping her to learn more about who he is, right? So I do feel like at this time, for me, I feel like her energy was a bit off, right? And he compliments her and stuff, and she's like, she appreciates it or whatever the case is, but her energy was dead off. So he does open up about being happy with her and talks about, how he's been in love 3 times. And I think she talked about how many times she's been in love in life. And he also goes on to talk about how he's about to be 30. So when it comes to marriage, that's something he's definitely ready for. And of course, he's excited for her to meet his family and stuff. So we'll see. Now, she does agree with everything that he's saying. And she says that she is ready to she's ready to get married as well, and she's grateful. But she does say that they do have some things that they need to work on. And she also lets him know that she's still stuck on things that happened last night. And I said, it's so obvious. It's so obvious. And I think that he felt that too. And that's why he wanted to go ahead and apologize and kind of like take the conversation in a different direction that will hopefully help her to open up a little bit more with him. But he knows she's still pissed about that. So she says that she struggles to get over things sometimes, but she wants to get over that, things that happened that night. And she doesn't mean to be dry with him, and that she does appreciate him, right? Now, that was their conversation. We'll see how that's going to go. Good luck, child. I do want to see KB meet the family. I want to see what their reaction is going to be to her. All right. Now, Annie tells Nick about her dad and his thoughts on her coming to the show, and how he told her that he hoped that she finds somebody that's manly enough to be with her. Mm-hmm. And so he was like, so is that your preference? And she was like, no, that's my dad's preference, but that, that has nothing to do with my preference. Like, I guess, girl. And also for her dad to say, I hope you find somebody that's manly enough to be with you, it kind of gives that the reason she was so drawn to Nick is because that's what she's used to. That type of energy. That type of energy that Nick was giving off. And that's why she's ended up played. She ain't used to a manly man, in my opinion, like a Brandon, which is who her dad probably would have loved. Right? But I'm glad she kind of didn't get with Brandon, y'all, because I feel like with the way that she's toxic in my personal, I think she probably would have turned that man into a whole different person dealing with her. But that's just my personal. You guys let me know your thoughts. So she asked him about his family and how his family would feel. And Nick says that his family is going to love her, right? He said, my mama just going to be excited that I have a girlfriend. And I said, not a girlfriend, honey. You mean a fiance? She going to be happy that you have a fiance by the time she meets your mama? right? But then also when he said girlfriend, he really was leaning more so towards just the thought of my mama gonna be happy that I'm dating a girl, period. That's really what he was trying to say. Now they live in two different parts of Colorado, and they're having this conversation about, you know, who gonna move where, right? They feel one of them feel like it's better opportunities where they are. The other one feels like it's better up there. All that stuff you talking about that you want to do down there, you could do it up here. You like to go to the golf course? Well, I live right around the corner from the golf course. So they're having to figure that out. That's gonna be a struggle. But I definitely see Nick not budging. I see Nick not budging, and I would see Annie relocating just to be up there with him. But anywho, of course they both talk about wanting kids soon. Annie says that she's ready for kids. Annie, for me, you're not ready for children at all. However, a lot of people went forward and had kids when they wasn't ready, and that's just the way of life, child. But if that's what you think, keep it going, girl. So he asked her, what is she like nervous about? And she's like, oh, honestly, I'm not nervous about anything, when it comes to you, like nothing like that. Oh, okay, then. So she did ask him, when he sees her in real life, is he going to still like her outside of Mexico? And I'm like, when I hear this, that means when I hear this, it's giving Agent of Chaos. Are you gonna still like me outside of Mexico? It's giving he's a neat freak and you junkie as fuck. Like, it's just like, I don't know. What else you got up under the Miss Annie? What else you got going on? Huh? Are you still gonna like me in real life, outside of Mexico? That means when he start living with you and see how you do around that house and how you probably lazy, how you don't clean, how you don't do da. But girl, whatever works for y'all, good luck. I feel like with Nick gives me a neat freak. I could be wrong. Okay, but I'm judging him off of appearance, right? And honestly, judging off of appearance, Annie don't look like she's a neat freak at all. But anywho, so Madison and Joe, they pretty much slept in different rooms. We're going back to Madison and Joe. And what happened was he ended up coming back to the room, and she lets him know, and she's been missing this man, y'all. She really been missing this guy. And so she lets him know that they've been together for like 3 days, at least I believe in Mexico. And she doesn't know what he needs in that moment. Like, I don't know what you needed. I was trying to help you or whatever. I apologize. I said, what you apologizing for? I'm sorry. Why are you apologizing? What did you do? What the fuck did you do? Like, what do you mean you didn't know what he needed in that moment? He wasn't telling you what the hell he needed either. So I'm confused as to why the fuck is you apologizing? And he knew that. He knew she should not have been apologizing to him. That's why he said no. No. He was like, I apologize. I said, yeah. You showed your ass, not the other way around. Yeah. So then he says that he will do better because he wants to get back to the feeling that they had when they were in the pods. And I'm like, okay, Joe, this is giving a very different person than what you were yesterday and last night. It's giving you definitely sobered up for sure. But we'll just have to wait and see. We'll wait and see how this gonna work out. So later on that night, the ladies link up, the guys link up. It's like they're having some type of bonfire or whatever. And Madison lets the girls know that her and Joe pretty much got into it, right? She lets them know that they both talked it out afterwards, though. Like the next morning, they slept in different rooms, they talked it out, and they ended up having some really good sex to follow. I said, baby, that SES gonna have you bitches in a chokehold for sure. Okay? Honestly, for me, he shouldn't have got none after that. But you was yearning for him for that. I already know. Okay? I don't think he should have got nothing. He should have been on a little bit more punishment. I appreciate your apology, but you ain't getting no coup de soir right now. Hello? Meanwhile, Anton and Allie, they haven't had any disagreements yet. But it's coming. It's coming. I already know it's coming. And I guarantee you when it comes, it's going to be about finances in some capacity. Because like I told y'all, when she had that ring on the wrong finger, and he was saying, I can't afford a vacation after spending that $5,000 on that ring. And she was like, it should have been 10,000 or something. He's like, what? She said, well, I think 10,000 is reasonable. I'm like, Allie, baby, this going to be real interesting because I don't think that Anton is who you think he is now. So we going to see. But I definitely guarantee you their arguments will be connected to finances, okay? Because he even kind of side-eyed her like, girl, no the fuck. I know, like, is you cool? Like, okay. Now, let's get to KB. because she tells the girls about the heated argument that she and Edmond had, and she says that she was challenged last night, and she was trying to decide on whether she wanted to give him the new KB that's engaged, or if she wanted to give him the old KB that pretty much don't give a fuck. And you gonna get the fuck out of face, okay? And I'm like, you kind of gave him a little bit of both. I call that balance, okay? I call that balance. I feel like old KB laughed in his face. Okay, OKB may have made him feel like he was being unreasonable. However, I think you were still trying to be a little bit delicate and understanding, a little bit with him, because you probably could have got louder and said even more things. So I think you gave him a mixture of both. Okay, now the guys are chatting, and child, why did they tell Edmond that he and KB are pretty much yin and yang? Huh? I said, y'all are lying. That's what y'all doing. Y'all lying. Stop lying. Is you cool? Oh, you guys are like yin and yang. Where is the yin and where is the yang? Is it in the room with us? Cause I said, y'all don't go on. Y'all just saying anything. So then the guys hype up Nick and lets him know that he and Annie look really great together. And he's like, yeah, I think she's great, and I think that things happen exactly how it was supposed to happen. And can I say that she's all in, and she's ready, she's ready to marry me. At least that's what she says, Of course, that is something that she says. And he's like, that's the most amazing thing that anyone has ever said to me. Girl, I don't want nobody to get married. I'm not finna hold you. I don't want nobody to get married. Like, Nick, I don't even see you getting down the aisle saying yes. I really don't see that for you. I really, really don't. But some part of me feel like you would say yes in an effort to not disappoint your parents. That's what I think. That's what I think, that you would do this on some fake stuff. But Nick, go away from us. So Joe tells the guys about him and Madison and how they ended up sleeping in 2 different rooms because they had some conflict. But he was ready to throw it to the side and be like, but we made up though. We good. Okay. He says, I don't know if y'all noticed, but I was a bit drunk. And I'm like, you think? Everybody noticed that. They also noticed that Joe asked about was a bit drunk too. Okay. Period. He said, but we made up though, and we back on track. Right. Now, meanwhile, Jordan felt like he could relate and says, Megan told him that he was annoying. I bet. Right. So he says that he wished that she would have phrased it differently because it was a bit abrasive. No, nigga, fuck you. Okay. If you like, how else you want her to tell you, hey, babe, I'm sorry. I just want to let you know that you were like a bit annoying. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you annoying the fuck out of me in this moment. I'm going to tell you, like, hey, bro, you annoying. You're annoying. To me, it wasn't like she broadcasted it to everybody, say, oh my God, you're annoying. Like, that's not what she did. But, I mean, she just told you, like, you're annoying. Like, I mean, that's on you. Especially for you to be a person that know that you could be annoying, and then now you offended by the fact that she told you that you're annoying, and you wish she would have said it a little differently. Like, I mean, she was being direct. Like, you cool. And the reason that I really don't care about how Jordan feels in this moment is because I didn't like what he said to Madison. I don't like you either. No, he said, well, I don't like you. Huh? Yeah, I don't care about the lady telling you you're annoying, because you were. How about that? So Jordan says that he's ready to see how living together will be. And they talked about their schedules, right? So basically the schedules differ a lot to where they really not even going to see each other until the weekend. And he is kind of thinking to himself, like, I think that's kind of good, since I could be annoying. Like, I know I could be annoying. And like I told her, since I can be annoying, let you tell it then, I think seeing each other on the weekend is cool, right? And so he lets the guys know that she owns a home in LA and she's looking to sell her home and relocate back to Denver, right? But he also admits that, like I said, he can be very annoying, and that he also, when it comes to like clinginess, he could take some of it, but he said too much of the clinginess will be overbearing for him. Y'all, I do think that Megan may give them clingy vibes, okay? Megan, that may have been her issue with a lot of the other guys. They probably, the more successful guys, and with the guys that like are successful, got their own business and stuff, they definitely want you to have your own thing going on too, right? They can't be up under you all the time because they wire differently with trying to make that money. And for her to be a woman that got all this money and stuff like that, but keep in mind, a lot of her money comes from her selling her business, right? So it ain't like she got to work that hard, but she is working on a startup right now, which does require a lot of work. But she may feel like she's not in that heavy of a rush to do it, considering the fact that she got a bulk of money already from selling her last company. But I'm willing to believe she will be a bit clingy. in that aspect. But we'll have to see, how that's going to play out. Now, Nick asked Jordan, like, do you even want to be in Denver? Because, like, bro, if my girl lived in LA, I'm going out. I'm getting out of Dodge. Like, that's how it sounded to me. But, Jordan tells him, like, I ain't really got no option because that's where my son is. And my son also have a half sister. So, I'm not finna leave my kid. I'm not finna go to LA. I'm gonna be sitting right where I am. It makes more sense. And really, this is home for me. Like, I'm not finna uproot my life. Basically, it's given she gonna have to uproot hers. So we still trying to figure all of this stuff out, right? Um, Child, we'll see. Anywho, so Nick says that he still wants to continue to trust the process at the end of the day, right? And he says, the weddings are coming up. We only got a few more weeks. And Joe said, say what now? He's like, yeah, it's like 3 weeks. He's like, what? It's 3 weeks to the wedding? It was like, yeah. He was like, damn. So now he really in his head. Because it's coming up very, very quickly. So be clear about what you want. Now, Anton is waiting on an argument to occur between him and Allie so that he can see exactly how they're going to handle the situation. He feels like, meanwhile, I'm sorry, Allie feels like Anton is so chill. She expected him to be a bit more outgoing, but he's more so chill, relaxed, and everything. I'm like, baby, them arguments is coming. And let me tell you, I do fear that they may have a really bad one, only because Anton, a person that's really chill, to me, with Anton, I think he just be making notes. And it up, don't address it, let it slide, and it builds up, builds up, builds up, and he might blow up on your. It's just a little piece. I don't know. That's my assumption. We shall see. Now, Nick's fiance Annie says that she could be married tomorrow and be happy, but she's afraid that she'll be the one to mess it up. Y'all see how these problems you already said to this man once upon a time, like earlier that day, what did she say? I'm afraid like that you're not gonna like me, outside of Mexico. Like, you're a problematic bitch. I'm so glad that you freed Brandon. I'm so glad that you freed this man who was ready to be your savior. When I tell you, Brandon, baby, that's one of the best things that you could have done in my personal, because that type of person, they will truly take you down through there. And you so focused on being a protector and a savior for her. Okay. And you would definitely get yourself tied the fuck up. But that's just my personal on that. And she over here talking about she's afraid that she's going to be the one to mess it up with Nick. Well, girl, you about damn right. By the end of that night, you was ready to fulfill their operation mess up. So Megan says that one of the reasons she fell for Jordan was because of his jokes, but feels like he plays too much and there should be a time for him to be serious too. I said, true that. I'm with you on that. True that now. Okay. And I'm sure I guess he has to learn that with you. You know what I'm saying? When's the right time? When's not the right time? I don't know. He'll figure it out, I guess. I mean, I would expect him to be serious at some point because he is a dad. But anywho, Nick and Annie, they're discussing the couples and the fact that some of the couples are having arguments, right? And the fact that they haven't had any issues yet, that's making Nick really happy about their relationship. Well, Annie said, not so damn fast, because I'm finna give you one tonight, just a little piece, okay? So Annie says that she questions whether he'll love her the same because she sees how other people are loving on their partners, and she's feeling like she don't really get that love with Nick. And I'm like, what you want to see? Like, okay, first of all, you're toxic. That's one. Two, you're already seeing some things with Nick that's a little off. Okay, that's another thing. And I'm like, even with those two things, the man was literally hugged up with you, coupled up with you earlier that day, rubbing on you, listening to you, talking to you. Like, what more do you want? Like, what do you want him to do? What do you want him to do? I don't know, y'all. Help me out because I'm confused, okay? So he tells her about asking all the guys about whether they're ready to get married tomorrow, and if they had to, would they do it? And every guy said that they're not sure. So she get pissed off. She get real uneasy or whatever and says, I don't really care what everyone else says and feels. Like, that doesn't really matter to me. Ma'am, you're a hypocritical individual, okay? Because first of all, you just said that you see how everybody else is and you're wondering if he'll ever get there with you as far as loving on you. Obviously, you care about how everybody else feels and what they have to say. Okay. In addition, with you asking him, you wonder if he'll ever get there with you. You just told him earlier that day that when he asked you, what are you nervous about? And you said, honestly, I'm not nervous about anything when it comes to you. But then by the end of the night, you asking if he'll love you. Like, is you cool, girl? Like, yeah, you're gonna definitely mess this up for yourself. So she starts to get really dismissive because she isn't hearing what it is that she wants to hear. So she does tell him that she feels like she's all in and he isn't. And I said, well, maybe you should have picked Brandon, but I'm so glad that you didn't. Okay, you picked the person that you typically go and get. That's why your daddy told you to get a man that's manly. And you don't typically go for that type. You try to pick what you want and then make them manly, and then when they not, you get frustrated. That's all you love. So that's what she says. And then she asked him if he'll ever get to that place with her. And he's like, yeah, like I already told you, I care about you. You know what I'm saying? I said I love you, whatever the case is. I think we good. Like, I just told you I was happy and we ain't got no issues. And then here you go, derailing the plans. Like, what's going on? So she tells him that she doesn't feel like he's meeting her. And she doesn't need him, but she wants him. And he's like, what the fuck? And I immediately put in all caps in my notes. I said, she is self-sabotaging. She is self-sabotaging. Okay, that is what she's doing. And I'm like, you know what it's giving? It's giving a little piece of Madison for me. It's giving you just want to argue, you want to fight in hopes of being able to fuck right after this. Like, that's what it's giving. Y'all be thinking that stuff is all passionate and stuff, but it's just toxicity, period. So he asked her if it's okay for him to sleep with her, or if she wants to be alone and not sleep with her sexually, but more so lay down in the bed, because obviously she's feeling away. Because really, when he first came in the room, he said, I can't tell if you're upset, if you're in the mood, or like, or if you're just tired. She's like, oh no, I'm just tired. He was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because obviously she was acting funny from the moment she came in there. And it's probably because she was listening to everybody else's conversations, started to do some comparing with her own relationship, and started to find some holes or make holes or whatever the case was, right? So yeah, when he asked her that, I feel like it turned into a quick debate. And she's like, yeah, you can sleep in here like I love you, like I fucking love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yeah, lay down with the man. It was just really weird. They just got into like a heated, quick back and forth. It was like real quick. And he just tells her that he feels like she's looking for reasons to doubt them. And I said, you 1000% right, because she's self-sabotaging for sure. So the next day, it's time for them to pack it up and head back to Denver to live together in the real world. So we'll see how that's going to be. Now, KB and Edmond, they get to the apartment, and the first thing this man wants to do is put himself in the damn cabinet. Baby, I hollered. Again, it's giving mother and son. She was like, that's what you usually do? You know what I'm saying? When you get your apartments, when you move in. And he was like, I ain't never had no damn cabinets this large in no apartment. And she was like, okay, you want me to close it for you? Baby, when she said that, I said, what the hell going on? Mother and son. I don't care. I said it. That's what it's giving. It's going to keep giving it. So Jordan and Megan, she's excited to go house hunting, and he's ready for her to meet his son Luca, right? And meet the mom, right? Because I think she has to meet the mom first, Luca's mom. And she's like, I'm nervous. And he said, you're gonna do fine. You know what I'm saying? She gonna love you. And she was like, you're saying this like I've done this before. I've never done this before. This is a lot right now. This is a lot right now. And she get to crying. I said, girl, shut the hell up. Okay? You also ain't never go and buy no house with no significant other either. But you ready to buy a damn house and sell yours? That's a bigger damn move than meeting somebody's damn baby mama. Is you okay? Is you okay? I said, girl, go away from me. She talks about not wanting to overstep. She says, I don't want it to come a time where, I'm overstepping or anything, like, and my love language. My love language is gift giving, and I want to be able to give them gifts. And then I don't want to hear you say, no, don't get that. And don't do this. And I'm like, girl. So he tells her, like, girl, that's fine. I understand that. Like, you can do that. I'm just telling you, don't overdo it. Okay. Don't overdo it. You ain't got to go. If you want to give him a toy, give him a $5 toy. You ain't got to give him no $500 toy or no $100 toy. It ain't got to be all that. Just give him a little piece. He going to be fine. He ain't that grown. Okay, I want my son to understand that you got to work for the things that you want. Everybody ain't for to just be out here and giving it to you. And honestly, for me, what Jordan was also really saying, I can afford to give my son some of the things that he wants. Like I could do this, I could clothe him, I could give him some toys, I could do this and that. But don't go out here overdoing it on my child, and then I gotta match up to what you do. So if you're going out there buying him some shit that's $1,000, I don't want to feel like I gotta show up buying him stuff for $1,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna set a certain standard, and the standard is the standard that I've already set for my child, and we're gonna continue with that standard. Hello, you cool? Oh, okay. So that's what it sounds like to me. But he also wasn't wrong. I think Luca's like, what, 5? He's like, my son would enjoy experiences more than you just buy him a toy. Like, if he wants to go to the ice cream shop, if he wants to go to the park, he wants to go to the zoo, like, let's have experiences. Like, that's what's going to be memorable for him, enjoying those moments versus a toy that you bought him to play with. Okay. So, and I agree. I really agree with Jordan on that. Like, it's going to be the experiences more than anything. Those are going to be the things that's going to last with him. He's going to always remember those. He may not remember that toy that you bought him when he was in 3rd grade. Right, but he's gonna remember. Oh, I went to Disneyland. I went to there. I went to do this or that when I was in, 3rd grade or whatever. So that's what we want him to have, is those experiences. And I don't think that is a bad foundation to have when it comes to a relationship like that, right? Even if you have a partner that make like a lot of money, at the same time, I do feel like you need another partner that's going to be level-headed, and don't be cheap all the time, but be mindful enough to where you ain't just blowing all the damn money. Okay, because yeah, you got all of this money based on a company that you sold, and now you're trying to buy a house, and that price is going to be completely different. But you can't even guarantee that this app or whatever you're working on now is going to really yield you in a lot of money, or if you're going to even be able to sell it. So I just feel like it's always good to have at least one of the partners to be level-headed when it comes to like finances and money and stuff. So I guess getting with a man with humble beginnings, I suppose, maybe that'll help. But also, it would have been good if she would have got with the other dude that got a lot of money too, because maybe that wouldn't even been an issue. You know what I'm saying? And they both got a lot of money, but I still don't think as two rich people you should just be spending all just like on anything. You know what I'm saying? The goal is also longevity, because I always look at stuff like, you got it now, but in 15 years, are you still gonna have it? I will hope so. I will hope that you're making moves the early 15, the first few years of the 15 years, to make sure you still got it after 15. So all in all, good luck to them. Good luck to the people. She wants to make sure that she meets Luca's mom before the wedding. And I also agree with her on that. I agree with Jordan, and I agree with her on that. And he's like, okay, I'm going to see what I can do. She was like, no, like, we're going to get married, and I don't want to meet her after the fact. And she not wrong. She not wrong. Now, if it cannot happen because the lady is not interested or whatever the case is, or the schedules don't line up, then I'm kind of like, what you gonna do? Are you still gonna say yeah and then meet her after the fact? Because y'all are having an unconventional type of wedding to me. Y'all met, unconventionally, and everything is about to happen so quickly. Right? So are you still going to walk down that aisle and say yes? But also, I understand her wanting to have that in place. Like, that's the most important thing to her before she's around that woman's child or whatever. So I get it. But he over there like, hell, she ain't tell me. Hell, because I don't give a damn. If she don't learn and she don't know, then that ain't got nothing to do with me, because when it was my turn and she could have told me, she didn't tell me. So it is what it is, right? So I don't know. But I understand that she did it. And sometimes those mamas will do stuff that the daddies just can't do. All right. But as the dad, and if she's the custodial parent, your best bet is likely to operate as close to how she wants you to as possible. All right. But either way, honey, good luck. That's all that I got for Love is Blind, episode 7. Go ahead and leave your thoughts and comments down below. We'll get into more on episode 8. Make sure you are liking up the video. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. All right. Also, make sure those notification bells are on. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, Patreon, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters. I'm silent. Nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification. Them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM. And the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATL. Got them trying to clone me like Aegis. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up. I got laser focus, about to take it over. I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man? They say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film. I can feel the pool